Yes, no doubt. Nebe was a tough question. And as I said, that all these specimen examination are normally tough. So even if you have tried attempting it and you have scored, let's suppose around 70% or 65% marks, you're doing a great job. Yes, I will give you some suggestions as well. Don't worry about it. My suggestion for the entire SBL session always is that you need to just go through the past papers as much as you can. Because if you're not going through the past papers, if you're not attempting the past papers, that is something uh, which is wrong and it is going to lose you marks. From now onwards, at the end of every day of the workshop, I'll be suggesting you one question to solve. The question which you might have done it before, or the question which I would want you to do it once again. So in every forthcoming attempt, I would want you all to solve at least one question a day. Make it as a target of yours that you are going to attempt one question. Now, if you're going to make such a target, this will help you in attaining the more, let's suppose, expertise in your examination, and you will be in a more comfortable situation. Technical articles, yes, technical articles. I'll be suggesting you some of the technical articles, and I have already shared one technical article video as well with you all. So I hope so. You all must have gone through. All those who do not have that technical article video, I'll be sharing on your groups as well. I've already shared one technical article video, which is on leadership. The other technical article, which I consider to be the most important one, I'll be doing it during this workshop. I have already shared the agenda for the day. If you have not gone through that agenda, let me just repeat it till the time students are joining. I'm repeating that agenda for you all so that you are right now in more comfortable zone of identifying what are we going to do in today's class. Today's class, we're going to cover how to read and write the examination in the next 4 hours. Obviously, this might be something old for, or this might be something which you all must have gone through during your preparation time period of these 3 months. However, for some students, it might be a new strategy as well. So just keep on listening to whatever I'm saying. It's a very well stated and a very well suggested strategy, not only from my side, but from the side of the examiner's point of view as well. And it's a very well tested and a proven strategy on many number of students. Until now, I have taught many students, and all of them who were able to clear it, they always gave me a suggestion that, okay, sir, they always seconded my thought that the strategy that you are letting us know in your classes are the most fruitful one and the most important one to pass your examination. So I guess these are the most proven strategies. And if you go through these strategies, you'll be in a position to clear your examination in a wonderful manner. There will be a small rule for today's class. If you want to, I'm going to answer your questions as well. If you want to ask any question in between, what you need to do, you just need to wait for the time period when I give you a chance to talk. And then at that point of time, you can, just unmute yourself and you can ask me questions. But please make sure that before asking questions, just let me finish the task first so that we move forward in a very structured manner. So I guess right now we are all done and we should start off with our today's class. So let's just quickly start off. Yes, one question that I've been constantly receiving from the students, will we be getting the recording of this workshop? Yes, all the students who are already registered to us, they'll be getting a recording of this entire workshop. Not to worry about it. Okay, so today's class is all about the attempting of 4 hours of examination. It's very important to know that how are you going to attempt this 4-hour examination. Let's just quickly start before we go for a namaz break. The objective of today's class is to first let us know the passing rate to give you a confidence. Right now, I just saw let's suppose a comment of a student who said that, sir, how to clear your self-doubt. So if you want to clear your self-doubts, the bestest possible, please switch off your mic. The bestest possible way is to just look at the passing ratio of this examination. I guess for me, this is one of the biggest motivation for the entire, let's suppose, the ACC examination. Because if the passing ratio of an examination is near to 50%, this means that you can easily pass. This means that any person, any students who is able to gain some considerable marks, he'll be able to clear this exam. And the most important thing is that if you have studied for the whole month, for the whole 3 years, which means that you are studying for the entire quarter, you have done at least 7 past papers. And I guess I should write it on a blank. Most important tips before I start. You need to be very well aware of the models. Number one, I'll give you a method in which you can go through the model. I'll give you a method in which you can go through the model. You have to sign in your Zoom in account. You have to sign in your Zoom account. I'll give you the hint word of how to apply these models. You can, it's a cheat code of how to apply the model or how to identify the models. In 90% of the cases, that cheat code normally works, right? So I'll give you the other side. Number one. Number two, you need to go through the examination. You need to solve exams on blank workspace. At least 7 to 10 exams. Now, one of the biggest blunders that students are doing over here is that they consider that, okay, if we are attempting 7 to 10 exams on ACCA platform, that is the blank workspace or the workspace being given by ACCA, we are in a very safe, let's suppose, situation to clear this examination. It is not just the attempt on the blank workspace, but you also need to get it corrected from me. Now, a few days before, I saw someone stating that, sir, the Chat GPT can also correct it for us. Yes, Chat GPT can correct it for you, but not with the examiner's mindset of ACCA SBL examination. ACCA SBL examination mindset is a very different mindset, and he considered the correction in a very different manner. Chat GPT will not be knowing that for every 1 valid point, you'll be awarding 2 marks. Chat GPT will not be knowing that what type of English and what type of professionalism or what professional marks will I be using for, for making things possible for us. So please avoid Chat GPT. Yes, you can use it for your consultation. No issues in that, but please make sure that you get them marketed or you get them marked by me. In this session, I have marked up till now more than 300 questions. Although I was not well, but I managed to mark it 300 questions till now. And I'm trying my level best to mark as many as possible. So please make sure that you get them corrected by me. And once you have sent me the question, have some patience. Expect me to answer you within a day or two so that you will have if you are sending it to me, your questions tonight and expecting me to check it within an hour, that will not be possible. Number third thing, please make sure you go through. I'll also make you read them, but you go through examiner models. That is examiner suggested answers, and most importantly, examiner report. This is the most important factor that is going to gain you marks. Remember one thing, one specific way of passing this exam is the examiner's report. If your examiner is talking to you and making you guide that, okay, this is how you are going to clear your examination, trust me that this is the bestest possible way of clearing your exam. So these are the three most important tips that you can take away from this workshop today. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Good. Okay, moving forward. So as I have said that the objective of the workshop is to make you guys success in your examination. The objective is to provide you the right direction of your SBL exam, a direction which is closer to examiner's mindset. Remember, it is very easy. It is very easy to uh, write an exam or practice an exam, but it is very difficult to score marks. Practicing and scoring good marks are two different things. Up till now, you all must be very well aware that SBL is a very generic form of examination. Sometimes applying no model also will gain you good marks, which means that there is no model that is being applied and you're writing a generic answer in accordance with the scenario that is being given, and you are also gaining good marks. Yes, it is possible, but if it is written in the perspective of the examiner's mindset and how to get known to the examiner's mindset, the bestest way is to go through the examiner's report. These sessions over the next 4 days will be mind openers for all of you, and they will provide you the right tips and techniques to control the SBL paper and the right way to practice. The webinar to success will also be mitigating your misconceptions. So there are certain misconceptions. I have been dealing with these misconceptions since right day one, but now I would want each and every one of you to go through these misconceptions and make them clear right now. And myths around the SBL exam. So let's start the journey and let me give you the right direction. Okay, so let's look at some of the past ratios. Although these are some old passing ratios, but I guess they are most relevant to depict or to boost your confidence. If 51% of people can clear the exam in September 20, this means that you guys have fair chances of clearing it. And if 51% of people are able to clear it within September 21, so you guys have equal chance of clearing it. And again, once again, in last attempt as well, there were 51% examination individuals, 50% of the individuals clearing this exam. So uh, last attempt, it was 50% people clearing this exam. And Alhamdulillah, my result went up to 57%. So this means if you are attempting classes properly and you are getting your work corrected by your teacher, trust me over the fact you will easily clear this exam. And if you have attempted at least 8 examination, if you have attempted at least 8 examination, you will be easily able to clear this exam. Just a minute, please. Hi, do you have a Zoom account? Please don't uh, please don't switch on your mic. Okay, so this is the syllabus coverage that you already must have gone through. You must have gone through the leadership, strategy, risk, technology, data, finance, and change management. These are the areas that are more important, and they are going to help you in devising one of the bestest possible strategy. So if you have gone through, this is actually the 80% part of your examination. So if someone who have not yet gone through this area, it's better to first go through this area, make yourself comfortable with the entire SBL syllabus, and then start off with the practice material. Paper format, I'm just quickly going through it because I know you all must be very well aware of the paper format. It's just for a reference purpose. Strategic business leader is a case study of examination of 4 hours. And this is going to be the last attempt of 4 hour examination. From next attempt, this paper will be of 3 hours, including reading, planning, and reflective time. Now, majority of students don't even consider that there is a planning and reflection time as well. They don't know what reading, planning, and reflective time actually means. There is a huge difference in what basically reading, reflective, and planning time means. Reading is different, planning is different, and reflection is different. By reading, I just mean that you are reading the entire scenario. By planning, I mean to say that you are connecting exhibits with question. And by reflection, you are identifying the models and key words. Please avoid my writing because I have an IV in my hand, so I'm trying to write as good as possible, but I guess my writing is not appropriate right now. But I hope so it's clear to everyone. A strategic business leader is an examination that is based on the main business scenario, which involves candidate completing several tasks within which additional material may be introduced. So strategic business leader is an examination in which some material will be given to you by the examination team, and you will be adding on some material on your own by solving your answers and giving it to your examination. Then it says all questions are compulsory and each examination just a minute. All questions are compulsory and each exam, I'm just going to read it from here. Just give me 1 minute. Yes, it says that all questions are compulsory and each examination will help you. Each examination will help you to score 80 technical marks and 20 professional marks. So this is the constitution of the examination. No, additional material will be given by you, not the examination team. You are going to provide the material to the examination. Okay, so paper format and key aspect that we need to focus on. There's a 4 hour of examination, how to go about utilizing it in an effective manner. This is the first thing that we're going to learn today. One scenario, a lot of reading and retention to utilize in later answers. So yes, this is something which is very important. You have to do a lot of reading. You have to utilize your time well. 80% technical part, that's pretty simple as you do it in other examination as well. 20% professional marks, that is really important. But I consider these marks to be the cash marks. Now, all those students who have not yet attempted even a single examination, they must be in limelight and they need to consider that practicing not even a single exam means that they might gain good marks in this technical part, but they may lose in the professional marks. This is where the correction cannot be done by ChatGPT or any other online platform. This is where the teacher can only evaluate. So please, whenever you are doing a question, you need to make sure that you do this question and get it corrected from me. So this is how you are going to manage your time. You all know it very well. It's a 4 hour of exam. So this means 4 multiplied by 60 minutes. So it means that we have 240 minutes in total. 240 minutes can be divided into 40 to 60 minutes as your RPR time. RPR means reading, planning, and reflective time. And the remaining part, which is 180 minutes, can be allocated to writing. So this means we have RPR time, reading, planning, and reflective time, and we have writing. Strictly follow the rule. If you are done with RPR earlier than 40 minutes, 50 minutes, 60 minutes, it's good to go for the writing. But if you're not done with RPR time and your 60 minutes are ended, what you need to do, you need to stop. Don't stop, don't increase your reading time and just start your writing time. Why am I saying it? I'm going to give a very logical reason by the end of today's class. So agenda of the workshop. So agenda of the workshop is how we are going to approach this exam with the next, I guess we don't have 14 days anymore. So how will we be approaching? Recent changes in the SBL syllabus. The changes are the changes related to data. That is AI. You all must have gone through that video of big data analytics and other related stuff. Key resources library and how to use it. Learning from the examination feedback. Gaining professional marks, a deep insight. Gaining technical marks, a deep insight. Deep investigation of a case study on a practice platform, and do's and don'ts. So these are the most important factors that we are going to go through during today's class. And how will we be attempting this exam? So firstly, it takes around 20 to 30 minutes in reading the entire case. And then we move to the requirement. Yes, it will. While answering the question, the requirement, I have to read the relevant exhibit again to answer. That is not an issue. Actually, you are not reading the exhibit once again. You're just skimming through the exhibit once again. There's a difference between reading and skimming. Reading time was the first 60 minutes. If you have not utilized that reading time appropriately in that first half of your examination, this means that now you need to invest more time during your writing time, and that is going to lose you marks. So if it takes more time for you to, or if it takes time for you to refer again and again and read again and again the exhibits before attempting the requirement, this means that you are losing marks on your writing and you're not planning your reading time effectively. Is it clear? So we are also going to discuss how to plan your reading time. So this is how we will be going through approaching SBL in next 14 days, key resources, library and key tips, professional marks, day 3 technical marks and deep investigation, approaching SBL exam, frequently asked questions, sir, how we are going to go through the SBL for next 14 days. One thing that you need to keep in mind and make sure you make it very clear to each and every one of you, and that is from today onwards, if you have not yet attempted the examination after every class of my workshop, please go back home. Please sit into your empty rooms, lock them up, and attempt at least 4 hour examination on SBL ACCA platform. Rigorously keep on practicing as many past paper as you can. That is the only way of success. How many past papers should I do? Should I do kit? No, a very big no for the kit. Yes, the only way of success is past paper. Do at least 8 to 10 past papers from your given past papers book. If you don't have past paper, you can ask me. I'll be sharing the PDF of the past papers. What depth of the book reading I require to buy? You just need to go through the notes of your relevant teacher. If you have studied from me, you have to go through my notes. You have to skim through my notes now. You all must have gone through the notes throughout the entire session. Now, please don't open up the book. It is of 600 pages, and a normal human being cannot go through the entire book within next 10 days. Is reading examiner article important? Yes, only those articles that I'm going to share with you, or only those articles that I'm going to do it with you in these next 4 to 5 days. How many mock drills should I do? I'll be conducting one mock at the end of the exam, at the end of the workshop. I normally conduct one mock at the end and one mock after 2 days. So these two mocks will be done from my side. Rest, you can do a self evaluation mock as well. Just keep one past paper for your mock examination. Don't solve it during your practice and solve it at the end. So 3 mocks will be enough. 2 from my side, and keep one examination on yourself. Need of a self appraisal. Now you need to decide if I'm totally prepared for the upcoming paper or not. You need to self appraise yourself today, where you are standing in terms of your exam preparation. Now, how many of you are very much confident enough that right now you all can score good marks? Please let me know. You can use chat option. You can unmute yourself. Let me know how many of you are confident enough that you can score more than 50% of the marks. Ijaz Ahmed is saying not me. At least you can think of scoring good marks. Sama is saying, yes, sir, I am confident. Avinash is also confident. Yes, please don't hesitate in saying yes or no. Manur is also confident enough. Good. Only 4 students out of so many. Arij is saying, yes, I'll be able to pass. Okay, Meghna is also able to is going to pass this exam. Yes, at least I'm confident that if I attempt 3 to 4 more papers, it is very good. Bilal seems to be praying more to clear the examination. So, see, remember one thing, for passing this examination, you need to have self-confidence in yourself. You know, if you're not going to be confident within yourself, you're not going to clear this exam. So you have to appraise yourself. You have to see, nothing has gone wrong. Struggling and drafting time management. Okay, if you are struggling with the drafting practice, you need to solve as many as you can. Sir, my only one past paper is left for correction, and that is QH. Okay, great point, sir. If you are struggling in that, just make sure that you do as many past paper. You will not struggle anymore. Now look ahead. You still have 14 days. That is 2 weeks. How would you go about them, utilizing them? The only method is do 2 past paper per day. And one more thing. One more thing. See, I mean 2 past papers per day. This by 2 past paper, I mean you need to solve uh, the entire past paper in 4 hours. Now, if you're solving an examination and if you're solving SBL exam, you have read it and then you went for a walk. That, okay, I need to walk for 15 minutes. And then you came back, you solved one question, and your mother is calling you to have lunch. Then you went for a lunch. Then you came back, and now you're solving another question. And then you're going for, let's suppose, a football match. So, this is not the way of attempting your exam. Or if your wife is calling you, please bring some stuff from outside. So this is not the way of attempting a past paper, right? This is not going to gain you confidence. You might end up writing good answer because you're not timing yourself well, but you might end up failing in the examination despite the fact that you come up saying that, sir, I wrote such good answers during my practice session, but I'm not able to pass the exam. Why is it the case? Because you were not able to attempt the practice examination for 4 hours. And the first time when you attempted the SBL examination was the time when you actually sat for the examination in the real examination. And that is something which is going to lose you marks. So please make sure. So please make sure that uh, you all attempt past papers within the time frame and attempt past papers by timing yourself well. Right, Hamza? In order to get a wife, you need to clear your ACCA exams. Consider your challenge, constraints, and obstacle. Now, what you need to do? See, you need to make a list. Let me add a page over here. This is very, very important. You need to make a list that, okay, how many examination? Because see, this is something which I used to do when I was a student and it became very effective for me. Make a list. How many examination have I attempted? Ask yourself. For example, I have attempted CC company question. I have attempted rail company question. I have attempted a highlight. I have attempted dolly, etc., etc. Now, the areas of strength and constraint. Okay, so I'll start with question number one. I'm just giving you a fair idea. Let's suppose question number one, I was not able to attempt, I was able to attempt this question on time, and 7 out of 8 points were in accordance with examiner feedback. However, there was no constraint. In question number 2 of CC company, let me remove these names. In question number 2 of CC company, there was no strength. Because I was not able to complete it within the time frame that I was given. Question number 3 was very easy. It was a 1-on-1 exhibit. And this was a question relating to risk. So I was easily able to identify the risk. I was easily able, the question stated, to identify and mitigate the risk. So I was easily able to identify, mitigate, and rectify. All three columns that the examiner wanted me to answer, I was able to identify them. Now what you need to do, once you're done with this exercise, you have identified certain points that time frame of question number 2 is my weakness. And whenever there is, now after attempting 7 questions, let's suppose you are done with 7 questions, you have done this exercise of 7 questions. You will be in a situation to identify or to prioritize your question, which means, sir, whenever there's a question relating to risk, I score some good marks. So in your examination, in your real examination, you are going to first attempt this question. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Am I speaking logically or not? Is it something which can be done, right?
Okay,
After
please repeat that.
I mean to say that once you are done with question, let's suppose you have done 7 questions. I'm repeating the entire exercise once again for you. Let's suppose you are done with 7 questions. What you need to do, you need to identify in each question. Let's suppose if I'm attempting 7, so I'm attempting CC question. Now in CC question, there will be areas of my strength and there will be areas of my constraint, right? So the areas of my strength of question number 1, question number 2, question number 3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth, and the areas of constraint of question number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You need to keep it safe for yourself. Done? Now, you're done with question number 1. Oh, sorry, past paper number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Once done with the 7 past papers, keep all the list of strengths, keep all the list of weaknesses in front of you. Now you'll be in a very fair situation to identify that whenever in let's suppose that out of these 7 questions that I have attempted, there are 4 questions which which have a question relating to risk and its mitigating factors. And this is the question that I was able to perform very well. So if in June 2023 session, if I get a question relating to risk, I'm going to attempt this question first. Now, this is a pre-planning before going into your examination. And trust me, it worked very well for my case. If you are trying to attempt for, or if you are going for a position as well in SBL exam, this is going to work wonders. Number 2. Okay, now, whenever in out of these 7 questions, there's a question that relate to SFA model, and I normally attempt this SFA model question very bad. So this is the question which I'm not able to understand in, let's suppose, 3 out of 7 examination. Now, if you're not able to understand this question in 3 out of 7 examination, so this means that you need to attempt, whenever you get an SFA question in June 2023 examination, you will say to yourself that you will be attempting this question at the end. Prioritizing your question during the reading, reflective, and planning time will also help you in gaining some good marks. Is it clear?
Yes, exactly.
No, you need to identify your strength as well. Without confidence, how can you just go for your weakness? Okay, moving forward. So this is one of the best strategy that I guess it worked in my case, and I hope so it is going to work in yours as well. Right, study approach. Let's go through the study approach as well. Knowledge. You first need to go through the models. You should be aware of all the parts of your examination. Examining team articles. After this workshop, I'll share the examining team article as well as a recording on my YouTube channel. You can go through that. Revision of the key models and theories. I'll also be letting you know in today's class some of the most important model and how to identify if a specific model is to be applied or not. Practice, 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 and practice, practicing past papers on platform, critically reviewing the marking scheme. Make sure you have a printout of the marking scheme in front of you. You have a print of your examination in front of you. Have get two color pens. Let's suppose blue and red. Make sure that you corrected yourself as well. That okay, examiner said that there should be a pointer relating to the financial risk, and I have identified the pointer for financial risk. But examiner says that there's also a business risk, but I have not yet identified the business risk. So you need to critically go through the marking scheme and also the examination uh, articles. So there are different articles. There are total 28 articles. You cannot read them all, and they are not, all not important. But the important ones, I'll be sharing it with you. What is the benefit of reading these articles? See, the benefit of reading these articles is that just a minute. There's an azan going on. Just a minute. I'm resuming. Resuming in 2 minutes. Okay. So it says that there are 28 articles. What is the benefit of reading these articles? See, the most important benefit is that let's suppose if you get a question out of these articles, what you will do is you will what you'll do is you'll be having some prior knowledge and some prior material to write. Let's suppose if they are talking about effective leadership. Now you have an article of effective leadership and you have gone through this and the questions are relating to leadership. So you will be in a more comfortable situation to write in your examination. So that is the only thing that the articles is going to help you. Revision of the key models in theory, it is extremely, extremely, extremely important that you know the crux of each syllabus area very well. The main aspect should be on your fingertips. Trust me, if you are not aware of the governance portion, if you are not aware of the strategies, if you are not aware of the leadership, if you do not know what financial, let's suppose, financial ratios and financial areas can be tested in your examination, then you are doing a blunder. Please make sure, please make sure that you are actually identifying the model and you are actually uh, making use of the model and you know the model very appropriately. There is no rote learning, but you should know the main aspect of your syllabus, um, like key models theories to survive better in the examination. I'm also going to give you a list of key model, but in today's class only. But remember one thing, that is not an exclusive list. I'm trying to keep this list updated as much as possible, but again, there can be a new model as tested as well. So going through the entire syllabus is the only key to success. But yes, a quick smart revision strategy can be that you can go through the models that I'm going to identify you at the end of the day. Um, Practice how you're going to practicing past papers on practice platform is very important. You need to uh, use the practice platform as much as possible in the last 14 days before of your examination to gain the right confidence over the interface of the platform, its feature command, and improve your efficiency before the actual CB paper. On the practice platform, 5 actual and 3 specimen are available now. They have changed it. Yes, I'll be providing you Namaz break, just 5 minutes. Now they have changed it. There are different questions that are available, but in actual, there were first 5 questions that are available. This is how the practice platform looks. Uh, you can just visit it. You know it very well. CB practice platform. There's a login link. I have shared the PDF of this presentation. You can go through it. But even if you write on your Google account, practice platform of SBL, you can enter into the practice platform, go on the catalog, select a past paper, and start solving. Blank workspace is also given to you for the past papers that you need to solve, and they are not available on the practice platform. Just select a blank workspace, try attempting your answers over there. You can attempt any question from the revision kit or from the past papers available in the PDF format on the blank workspace. The more you work on blank workspace, you gain confidence of becoming familiar. See, one thing is that is very important is that if you are working on blank workspace, you are actually identifying where should I keep the question, because this is also going to gain you some confidence. Now, what confidence am I talking about? Is that, let's suppose uh, you have attempted one question by keeping your question paper on the left hand side and your answer paper on the right hand side, or your answer sheet on the right. You're splitting screen in actually. Now you feel that I'm not confident enough in attempting the paper in this way, or you end up attempting this paper in let's suppose more than 4 hours, and you feel that okay, I need to change the strategy. So on the blank workspace, you decided to keep the question paper on the left hand side and the answer on the right hand side. Now you feel more confident, and you felt that your eyes also had a soothing effect, and they were also presenting you some comfort while you are attempting your examination. So this is also going to gain you confidence. So that is the reason why I'm saying that please avoid using Word, Microsoft Excel, or presentation slides while attempting your examination. Please make sure that you attempt it on your blank workspace that is already given to you. Critically review the marking scheme, please. That is the most important factor of clearing your examination. Examiner marking scheme is available at the end of the published answer. If you don't have it, ask it from me. I'll share the PDF. Normally, the last 2-3 pages. The students who are regularly studying from me, uh, you all know it very well. I've already shared a book with you. I've shared the examiner's answers as well. You can review those answers in that specific book. The questions and answers are also given. Review latest examination answers for the last 3-4 settings to be familiar with the marking scheme for each requirement. You need to be familiar with the marking scheme. You're being given with the marking scheme. Make sure that you go through the marking scheme. Marking scheme is actually talking to your examiner. Marking scheme know-how is mostly ignored by the student when preparing for SBL paper, resulting in writing less or more in the exam paper. Critically review examiner's report. Examiner report is very important. You need to review it. You should read at least last 4 examiners report available to identify the general reason for students failing in SBL paper. The examiner criticism question topic wise. What examiner appreciate is by saying students who performed well. So there are certain scenarios where the examiner says that many students performed well in this question and they were able to gain good marks. And these were the factors why they were able to gain good marks. And in other cases, the examiners also identify that in many cases the students were able to perform bad in this question, and the reason why they perform bad is because let's suppose they wrote a generic answer, they were not able to connect their answers with the scenario that was given to them. So you will also be able to identify the reasons of writing a bad and a well written answer. So there are 28 articles. If you want to read them all, this is how you can read them. 14, 14, divide them into 14 for week 1 and 14 for week 2. Practicing, you can start off with September 2018, September, December 20. So this is a total plan that has been given to you. I'll be coming back to this study planner once again. Changes in examination. There are certain changes in the examination. Ethics code is included. However, the Tucker 5 question model is now being obsoleted. You can see over here it's written. It's deleted. The Tucker 5 question model. There's another deletion in the examination, and that is the ALARP level. That is the ALARP level, which you all must have not gone through it. There's an addition of a risk mitigation factor mapping model. We have gone through machine learning, AI, robotics, ethical risk relating to AI, audit and compliance. What is the difference between external and internal audit? Finance function. This is also a deletion. This is also a deletion. Explain the relationship between an organization financial objective and its business strategy. There used to be a question which you all must have not gone through now. So this is also a deletion and addition. Use computer technology to efficiently assess the manipulate relevant information, which is big data. Work on relevant responses options using available functions of technology as it be required at the workplace. Again, this is something which relates to the practice platform. So they have added the practice platform. They have added a practice platform chapter at the end of your Kaplan and BPP book, and this is how to navigate with the computer screen. So where the yes, all these models are being removed. Tucker 5 question model is being removed, as I have already told you. So for September 2021 onwards, these are the new learning outcomes that are available to you. I was talking about there's a chapter that is being included in your BPP and Kaplan book, and that specific chapter relates to how to navigate the blank workspace or how to navigate the workspace during your examination. So don't be concerned that, sir, we have not done this part in our regular classes. Actually, it's not a chapter that is going to be tested. It is just a method of how you will be, sorry, it's just a method of how you will be attempting your question. So don't be afraid of, how that we have not yet done this part in our practice area. So you can watch my complete recordings as well. I have uploaded the previous recordings. In addition to these changes, a new learning outcome have been included. That is AI, robotics. I have already uploaded a video on this on my YouTube channel. You can go through this video. If you have not gone through, send me a text. I'll send it to you. Please explain the benefit of artificial intelligence, other form of machine learning support. You should also be able to assess the risk. So these the risk relating to machine learning is also the part of your syllabus. Key resources not to be missed. I'll share these resources with you. Don't worry. Key lessons from to learn. Now let me know if I should give namaz break first and then go through this, or should we first go through this and then go for the namaz break? I guess we should go for a namaz break, right? So let's have 5 minutes of namaz break. In fact, let's have 10 minutes of namaz break. Okay, let's resume. Okay. So, examiner's feedback. Now, this is something which I guess is going to be an eye opener for every one of you. If you have not gone through this, let's look at what examiner is asking. Weaker candidate often used pre-learned knowledge as the basis of most of their answer and did not adequately integrate or apply case material. So weaker candidate were not able to connect. Now, whenever you are solving a question, let's suppose highlight, please write the name of company or in some way or the other connect the company with the case that has been given. It is especially important that candidates spend sufficient time reading and assimilating the information within the exhibit. Another tip of the day is you need to copy, paste your requirement in Word format which you are solving. In the Word format on which you are solving the actual exam, you need to copy paste it. Just copy paste the requirement, all the requirements, right from 1 till 4th, if there are 4 questions being given. Copy paste it before solving it. How this will going to help you is that once you are reading, you will be assimilating. Now, what my way of or methodology of solving a question is that what I used to do is I used to copy question number 1, part A. I used to copy all the 4 questions, and I used to have some spaces in between them. That was all my rough working. I used to do the rough working in the given platform or the space where I'm going to solve the answers. What you need to do, just leave some space in between all the questions, and in that space, copy paste something specific to that question while reading. This is what reflecting or assimilating the information is. Let's suppose if I identified, let's suppose the question says, identify the key risk, right? So the question number 1 says, identify the key risk. Now, while reading, I came across a risk of insufficient controls. What I'll do is I'll write it 1, insufficient control, and I'll copy paste that control weakness that I've identified in order to gain some good marks in between it. This will help me in assimilating the information, because majority of time students complain that, sir, we are not able to skim the entire exhibits, or we are not able to retain all the information. And sometimes what happens is, when we are solving the question, when we are solving the examination, we end up forgetting the information that is being given to us, right? So assimilating the information within the exhibit which make up the case study material. Often answers fail to make sufficient references to the exhibit or fail to make use of full range of material in the exhibit. So majority of time, individuals fail to use their full range of material, and they were only able to use the material that was already given to them. Stronger candidate integrated and used the information from the case study material throughout their answers, selecting relevant technical knowledge to support the applied points that were making. They demonstrated professionalism. Again, stronger candidate, they applied the relevant models that has been given to them. Candidates should read exhibit while keeping the requirement of each question in mind. So the one-on-one exhibit can easily be solved in your brains during the reading RPR time, reading, reflective, and planning. I'm repeating once again. One-on-one exhibit can easily be solved during the RPR time, that is reading, planning, and reflective time. You are reading the question, you are planning the question, you are reflecting the question, and you are attempting the question. Right? So strong candidates should read the exhibit while keeping the requirement of each question in mind, as they will help them to identify which task will be drawing up the material of each task. Candidates must remember that merely reproducing material from the exhibit without commenting on it or developing points on it will not score them marks. So this means, in nutshell, if you are just copy pasting, if you are just copy pasting the material, you are not scoring marks. In particular, candidate taking the exams on computer in previous attempt cut and pasted material from the exhibit into the answer without adding anything to it. What you are doing is you are just copy pasting, you are not scoring marks. Although this examination did not follow the timeline, and therefore candidates should not have been disadvantaged by answering question out of the sequence. It is recommended that the candidate answers the requirement in order. See, it is recommended, but you can change the order. As on computer-based examination, changing order is something which is very easy. Why? You can do question number 3 first, and then question number 2, and you can cut paste question number 2 before question number 3. At the end of your exam, you'll be having at least 1 minute to do this exercise, and then you are now in a very safe position that you have done a great job. So don't worry about the sequence of the question. Markers will not give additional marks for points which are repeated or restated, even if slightly reworded. If you are rewording, for example, there's a control weakness that the camera was not properly installed in the premises to monitor the overall operational activities. And a second control weakness says that the monitoring system of the company was not up to the mark. It means the same. You're not going to gain two different marks, these are not two different pointers of control weaknesses. So you'll not be gaining marks. For this, candidates must remember that apart from wasting valuable exam time, this approach can also have an adverse impact on the general professionalism demonstrated and therefore may affect the professional marks awarded. See, they are not only going to make you lose 2 additional marks, but if the examiner get pissed off, he might consider this act as something which is against professionalism, and you are trying to deceive the examiner, and he may cut some additional marks for doing such activity. So please don't repeat same question answer again and again. The only way is to copy the entire requirement on the sheet that you are going to attempt the answers and then start reading. So the requirement will be in front of you and you will be reading through the exhibits as well. Examiner's feedback, however, candidate must remember that merely, okay, we have gone through this. So this is the major takeaway from today's, let's suppose, workshop part. So let's start with the main part of today's class. Just let me share the handout with you. Just a minute. I'm sharing the handout. Meanwhile, if you have any question, you can unmute yourself and you can ask me.
Sure. I wanted to ask about the depth of explanation required for an answer. So for example, if I identify a point in the case and then I refer to it and I, for example, explain the reason behind it, do I have to go even further than that, or should I just stop there and that'll be enough?
If you are able to identify the pointer, and see, it depends upon the intensity of the question, or it depends upon question to question as well. If the question is of a model application, then just identifying the point and relating it to the scenario that's been given is more than enough. But if the question is of something like it's a very generic question, then it may ask you, or the examiner's requirement may be to give something additional as compared to what have already been given by the examination in the scenario. So it depends upon question to question, and this will change from the question that is being given to you, and from the requirement to requirement, as well as the marks that are being allocated to each question.
All right, exactly. Okay.
Any other question? If you guys have any question, please ask me.
Yes, sir, I do have a question.
Yes, yes, please.
Sir, for example, there are questions like question number 1, part A and B, question number 2, part A and B. Okay,
Yes.
so if there is a question in, for example, control, अगर question number 1 के part A में कोई controls है which I have already discussed, or I think कि in question number 2 part B it can also be referred. So can I write that part again, or do I have to refer to the question number 1 part A? कि हाँ मैंने already उसमें वो एक part लिखा है, it can also
No,
be.
you can. Yes, you can write once again in question number 1, part B. But see, remember one thing.
Yes.
It cannot be the case in SBL examination, because I don't remember any such instances where the examiner is asking you such questions where you are using two different marks or two different parts, or same pointers for two different parts. Because I have not seen such. Have you gone through any question? Have you
No, sir,
gone
it's
through
just
any?
no, sir, not yet. But it's just a question which came into my mind that is it
No, I
possible?
don't think so. I don't think so. That is even possible from the examiner's perspective. They are not going to ask you any such question relating to question number 1A and 1B as well.
And sir, is do we have to refer the exhibit from which we have derived the answer? Like
No,
the
no,
exhibit.
no, no, no. You don't need to refer to any exhibit.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Any other question, or should we move forward? Okay, I guess no more questions. Let's move forward. I have a question in my chat box, maybe. Sir, is there any technique? Okay, we have gone through this question. Yes, do you have any question, Ibrahim?
यस सर सर ये जो क्वेश्चंस में जो टर्मिनोलॉजीज यूज होती हैं जस्ट लाइक जो हाईलाइट में एक था यानी रेंट अ रूम, तो अगर इस तरह की टर्मिनोलॉजीज को अगर हम ये कॉपी पेस्ट करके अपने आंसर में डालते हैं तो लाइक ये कॉपी पेस्ट वो होगा ही?
No, no. Actually, I can repeat Ibrahim's question. Ibrahim is asking, sir, in questions, there are certain terminologies that is being used. For example, in highlight, they have said that rent a room. See, this is not copy pasting. Copy pasting is that you are copy pasting the entire paragraph, you're copy pasting the entire line from the exhibits that has already been given to you, and you are saying that this is pointer number 1, this is pointer number 2, and if you are writing a total 10 pointers, out of those 10 pointers, you are copy pasting of words like rent a room or any other professional jargons is allowed. See, my let's suppose forthsightedness says that if you are copy pasting around 10% of your examination from the scenario given, it's acceptable. It's acceptable, but copy pasting should also be done in a witty manner. You know what witty manner is? Witty manner means that you may change some words. Rather than copy pasting the entire line, there is a better way of doing this, and that is to change some words. Because if you're not going to change the words, you might end up, in failing the scenario. So please don't just copy paste, but copy. If you want to copy paste it in a witty manner as good as possible for you. Right? So let's move forward. I guess this is the end of the question. I'm going to go through that part of your question as well. I have seen a question on my chat box. It says, sir, should we read the whole paper in one? Yes, yes, yes. Reading the whole paper in one go is very, 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 very important. Students normally do a blunder by reading papers in chunks and pieces. This is not acceptable at all. You need to read the paper in one go. That is 40 to 60 minutes. SBL practice session for June 2023 by me. Day-wise plan. Let's go for the plan. Day 1, time management. SBL top tips. What tips do we have? Plan to study the syllabus content as quickly as possible. Start practicing the case study. Work on your professional skills. Attempt each specimen and pass exam content in full on time. Professional marks. In today's class, we are going to go through the professional marks or evaluation and communication skills. Again, what do you mean by evaluation? What do you mean by communication? By evaluation, I mean to say that you are going to go through the pro or con situation. And by communication, it means wearing the hat strategy, right? So this is the communication and evaluation skills. Evaluation means pros and cons. Communication means wearing the hat strategy. Now, what do you mean by wearing the hat strategy? Wearing the hat strategy means, for example, if I'm being told that you are the CFO of the company, you have to think financially about the company. Um, if you're being told that you are the CEO of the company, you have to think about the overall strategies of the company, making company. Yes, I've already shared these notes on all the relevant groups. If you don't have, you can WhatsApp me. Very a communication strategy. Let's suppose if you're the CEO of the company, now you need to think with a 360-degree perspective, and the 360-degree perspective means that you will be taking into consideration the financial part. You will be taking into consideration the overall risk, the overall business acumen, each and everything. Even if you might even take a decision of investing into a proposal, despite the fact that right now it is giving you losses, but you are very much confident that after 3 to 4 years, you'll be in a positive sign or in a positive situation. So that's the work of CEO of the company. And if you are the marketing director or the marketing head of the company,
We can't hear you, sir.
sorry, I guess the meeting got stuck. Am I audible to everyone? Okay, so wearing the hat strategy, I was talking about the wearing the hat strategy means that you are being given with different roles. That is the role of CFO of the company. You need to think financially with financial viabilities of different proposals. Let's suppose you are the CEO of the company. Now you need to think and you need to write your answer with financial as well as non-financial perspective, considering in mind of keeping a business acumen approach of 360 degree, right? So this is what communication skill is. The format that we are going to go through today is the press release format, briefing paper format, and report format. We'll try to go as much as possible. Topics that we will be going through is social and environmental factors, which has been given in highlight question number 2A. um, December 2018, Pestle, March, June 2019, Smartware, question number 1A, Potter 5 force model. Again, many students say that's a application of model is not prominent. You can see in Potter 5 force model is being applied in specimen number 1 DCS in March, June 2019, Smartware. Pestle model is being applied, integrated reporting 6 capital, specimen number 1 DCS question. So these are the models that are being applied, and normally they are the part. And we'll also go through the highlight question number 2B. Today's exam technique, reading, planning, and reflective time. Normally 3 exhibits contain information to be used in multiple questions. The first, now this is just an educated guess, right? This is just an educated guess. Please don't consider this as 100% right judgmental call from my side. It is just an educated guess, but I have been teaching this paper since September 2018, right from the inception of this paper. And now it is June 2023. So the total experience of mine, I'm able to conclude is that SBL examination is quite predictable. There are normally 6 exhibits, 5 to 6 exhibits. The first 3 exhibits are normally used in multiple questions. And there are 4 questions, normally 4 questions. So the first 2 questions or the first 3 questions with differing parts will be having different requirements that relates to different exhibits. Normally 3 exhibits contain information to be used in multiple questions. These are time-consuming exhibits. First, read these exhibits and do your marking and referencing. Make sure you mark. Okay, in question number 1, exhibit number 1 states there are 4 points that I can pick from question number pick from exhibit number 1 and use in question number 1. I can mark those 4 points with blue color or blue highlight. Okay, exhibit number 2 have 2 points that I can write in question number 1. Exhibit number 3 have 6 points that I can write in question number. So these are all the pointers that I'll be using in question number 1, part A, B, let's suppose part A and B. Okay, in question number 2, the exhibit number 2, the exhibit number 4, and the exhibit number 3 is being used. So I'll be using exhibit number 2, there are 7 points, the exhibit number 3, there are 2 points. So this is how you're going to do the referencing part. Am I logically clear to everyone? Is it logical what I'm trying to explain? Are you guys getting what I'm saying? Okay, good. Good. So this is what referencing means. For example, okay, now these exhibits, normally these are big exhibits. These exhibits normally include the board minutes. These exhibits normally include the reports, annual reports, websites of the company, newspaper articles, or interviews that are being given to you. And 3 exhibits. Now, last 3 exhibits, or to be very precise, last 2 exhibits after 4th one, these are the exhibits that relate to one-on-one scenario. Exhibit contains information to be used in one-on-one particular question. Just take a quick look, say 1 or 2 minutes. After these, read these after you have completed reading the main exhibit. For example, include financial projection, any specific data or analysis. What to do if the reading time is up? Now, before moving forward, I need to tell you one thing. See, let's suppose if I'm in my reading time. Right? This is my question paper. And this is my response sheet. Now what I need to do, my reading time is of 60 minutes. I'm about to do question number 1. I'm being given with exhibit 1, exhibit 2, exhibit 3. Please listen to it very, very carefully. It's a very proven strategy and it will help you a lot. Exhibit 4. And I hope so this strategy will work in every case. And you must have not gone through this strategy at any platform. So I'm unveiling this strategy for the first time. And over here, you are being given with question number 1, part A, part B, question number 2, part A, part B, question number 3, part A, part B, and question number 4, only part A. Now, this is how things are going to work. I'm starting my reading stuff. What I'll do first is I am going to copy paste all these requirements and present it over here. That is in my response sheet. Is it clear? Good. Next step. Please go through it very carefully. It's a very, very proven step. I will leave blank spaces in between. And it's very easy. You just need to hit the space bar. You just need to hit this blank space bar. Is it clear now? After every step, I'm going to ask you if it is clear or not. Good. Now, step number 3. I need to make sure while I'm reading the requirement, I need to make sure that, okay, exhibit number 1, just give a quick look. Step 3, quick look at all exhibits. Now there are 5 to 6. In fact, my assumption is that there will be 6 exhibits. So there are 6 exhibits that are already being given to you. What you need to do is just have a quick look at all these exhibits. Sorry for the screen rotation. Just have a quick look at all these exhibits. Now, move towards step number 4. Step 4, in question number 1, now it's up to you. You can choose a highlighter color or you can copy paste, whatever suits you the best. Whatever suits you the best. For example, I have highlighted question number 1 with yellow. And now I can, during my reading, I was able to identify that in question number 1, exhibit 1, exhibit 2, and exhibit 3 all were used, right? So what I'm going to do is the pointers that I might use in question number 1, A, B, and C, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark these pointers with yellow. I'm going to mark these pointers or mark the irrelevant with relevant highlighter. If you are pro enough, rather than marking, you can copy paste those pointers on the blank space that you have left in between. This can also be done. Is it clear till now, everyone? Yes, please. Good. Now, moving towards question number 2. Now, for question number 2, what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep another highlighter for question number 2. Let's suppose I'm selecting a green one. Now, for green one, I have identified that exhibit 2, exhibit 3, and exhibit 4 relates to question number 2. What I'll do is I'll mark all the points that I consider can be relevantly used, mark with a relevant highlighter. Sorry for the writing. Mark with relevant highlighter. This will help you in formulating the bestest possible answer. Now I'm moving towards question number 3. This is going to be, now in question number 3, I am able to identify that, okay, 3 part A relates to more than one exhibit. That is exhibit number 3, exhibit number 4. I'm going to repeat the entire exercise once again, and that is mark with the relevant highlighter. All the pointers, mark with relevant highlighter. Right? And now the most surprising part. Now I am in a way trying to identify that, okay, part 3B is a question that relates to risk. And there is a risk report being given in exhibit number 5. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to do anything. This is one on one exhibit. Okay, another. Part 4A relates to controls. And again, this relates to exhibit number 6. You don't need to do anything. It's one-on-one exhibit. Is it clear? Yes or no? Can someone take the screenshot of this and please send it to me as well? Is it logically clear to everyone? Is it logically clear to everyone? And students who had given this examination previously as well. Have you ever gone through such an exercise before? This is one of the bestest way of answering the SBL examination. Yes, that is the thing what I have already told you. There are 2 exhibits from which the questions can relate. Yes, the exhibits might overlap. Yes, the information might overlap. That's perfectly fine. No issues in that. Okay. So now we are done. We know how to use our reading RPR time. This was basically to be done in your RPR time. So are we supposed to read all the requirements before going through the exhibit? Yes. You're not only supposed to read all the requirements, you also need to copy paste the requirement in your response area. You also need to copy paste the requirement in your response area. Now, one more thing, and the most appropriate and the most suitable thing. Start attempting the exam, right? Now, what you are doing is you are attempting the examination. You attempted with question number 1A, question number 1B, question number 2A, question number 2B, question number 3A, question number 3, or question number 3A. Now what you need to do, on the right side, open exhibit 5 and solve the risk question. Now, this is the way in which you are going to attempt one-on-one exhibit part. On the right side of your screen, open exhibit number 5. Okay, I have exhibit number 5, and exhibit number 5 have all the risks that I need to take into consideration. So risk requirement question I'm attempting. These are the risks. Now this is the way I'm going to attempt it. On the right side, open exhibit number 6 and attempt. Now for that, it might take 1 minute or 2 minutes extra of yours because you are reading and writing. But you must have saved some time in your RPR time. So this is the most justifiable and the most logical way of attempting this question in my, let's suppose, 5 years or 6 years of experience of teaching this examination. Is it clear? Yes, please. If you still have any doubt, please let me know. You can open your mic, you can ask questions. If you still have any doubt relating to this strategy, please tell me.
So why can't we do the same with the previous questions? Like open the context on the left side and
Sorry, your voice is not audible.
I'm saying why can't we do this with the previous questions?
Because the previous questions normally relates to 2 to 3 exhibits. That is the reason we can't use all the 3 exhibits in front, because you know we might be picking up a pointer, because we need to logically draft our answer. And by logical drafting, I mean that let's suppose if I'm attempting question number 1A and I find 1 point in exhibit 1, 1 point in exhibit 3, and 1 point in exhibit 2. So it is not the recommended approach to write the first pointer from exhibit 1, 2, and 3. The recommended approach will be to find a logical way of writing all the 3 pointers. There might be a possibility that you think that, okay, exhibit number 3 point should be written first and followed by exhibit number 1 pointer and then followed by the exhibit number 2 pointer. This is going to be a more logical answer for writing question number 1A. So you can't refer back to exhibit while writing, because you will be going for a time constraint then.
All right, sorry.
Pehle, it is better to be done with one-on-one exhibit. Yes, if you are comfortable in doing one-on-one, but again, my suggestion is to do one-on-one exhibit at the end. Why? Because you are more confident in doing one-on-one exhibit. You're not freaking out. You can smartly handle that question. So even if you have lesser time, you will be in a better position to solve one-on-one exhibit. But again, I'm keeping this decision on your own discretion. It's up to you. If you want to solve one-on-one exhibit before attempting the question number 1, 2, or 3 part, then you can do it. It's totally up to the student. Any other question? First, tell me one thing. Is this approach logical? And any one of you who had attempted this paper before as well, have you ever followed such an approach? Because you all must have. Somaz, you followed the same approach that I've said? Good. Actually, when I was attempting the DV question, this is the approach that I used, and you all must be, all my regular students, they must have, seen my DV answer, and I guess that was surprisingly one of the best answers that I've written. Yes, it will help you. It will help you a lot. So please follow this approach, and you'll be in a better position to solve it. If you want to take screenshot or anything, you can take it, please. And I guess let's move forward, because I would want to give you some tasks to do right now. Tip of the day is, okay, paper completion is the key to success. You have 1.8 minutes per mark. That is the writing time. How to keep a track of your time, write ending time in front. This is also what you're going to do in your RPR time. In your reading planning, now you must be aware that, okay, reading planning and reflective time is not something to be wasted. And I'm totally amazed of the students who come out and say, sir, we were able to read the entire paper in 20 minutes. How the hell is it possible? When the SBL examiner himself says that I have kept this 1 hour time till June 2023 with the purpose, with the perspective of RPR. So make sure that you use it with the perspective of RPR. So how to keep a track of your time? Write ending time in front of the question. When you are doing RPR, make sure that you write ending time in front of question number 1A, question number 1B, question number 1C. Ending time is very important. Keep an eye on the watch and strictly follow the time. You need to strictly follow the time. Now, again, I have a smart strategy for you. Let's suppose you are being allocated with 18 minutes for question number 1A. And you have written irrelevant pointers, but you are just left with one pointer and your 18 minutes are up. You need around 30 seconds to 1 minute to write that relevant pointer. My suggestion is write it and then move forward. Or on contrary, you have been awarded with 18 minutes. You have written 6 pointers out of 10. Let's suppose I'm just making an example. You have written 6 pointers out of 10 and you're still left with 4 pointers and your 18 minutes are up. Stop, leave some blank space, move to the other question. Because completing this question will make you lose that one-on-one exhibit marks gaining question which you have kept for your ending remarks. So please follow this strategy. Keep an eye on your watch. Length of your answer, 5 lines per total mark. So this means if you are writing, if you are gaining 2 marks for one relevant point, that I'm going to let you know now. The number of pointers, one relevant point is going to gain you 2 marks. And however, there is an exception. If the weakness plus recommendation is being required, then 1 point is going to gain you 3 marks. If weakness plus implication plus recommendation is required, then 1 point is going to gain you 4 marks. Sir, can you please repeat once again? Okay. If you are writing one relevant pointer, this relevant pointer should not be more than 5 lines. Now, this is the maximum limit. These 5-line relevant pointer is for, this is the maximum limit when you are coming for a typing paper, for a CBE paper. However, the normal pointer may be of 1.5 to 2 lines, and this is going to gain you 2 marks. However, if there's an exceptional question to write the risk and a mitigating factor, 2 column with, now this means 1 risk, 1 mitigating factor, 3 marks. If there's a question risk, its implication or its impact and a mitigating factor. So 1 risk, 1 impact and 1 mitigation factor, 4 marks. 3 marks and 2 marks. Is it clear? So this is the marking criteria for your examination. See, I'm trying my level best to conclude the entire workshop for you in a very well-mannered and in a very well-stated strategy for you all. Now, what to do if the writing time is up? You need to stop. You can always come back and write the remaining part. Second tip of the day, leave some line and move to the next question. If in the end you are left with the time, then you can come back and you can write the given answer. But again, let's suppose I'm writing the strategy. You are being allotted with 18 minutes. You are totally done with this, but you are left with 1 point. Write it now. And then move forward. Or you are being allotted with 18 minutes. You are not yet done with those 18. Sorry, you are done with those 18 minutes, but you are left with 4 points. Leave space. We are going to go for around 3 hours. I just need to give you one task at the end of the workshop, and the task will relate to the strategy that I've given to you, and then I'll be ending the workshop. Don't worry. So today's topic, we'll be revising pestle framework, we'll be revising Potter 5 force, Potter diamond model, SWOT analysis, and environmental and political factors, professional skills, evaluation, communication. Formats that we are going to go through is press release, briefing paper, and report. One more thing before I forget, please, all the students who are unregistered, please make sure that you register from our admin before tomorrow's class, because tomorrow's class will only be allowed to the registered students. So please make sure that you get yourself registered. Okay, so social footprints will have some factors on environment, on employees. That is staff turnover. The staff is going to leave you. There will be a staff training cost. The working conditions, obviously, staff will have some working conditions. They will require some working conditions from you. They'll ask for reasonable competitive pricing, and they'll go for gender equality business as well. And customers and supplier, they need to know that there's no discrimination policy being used among the customers. All customers, all suppliers are being treated well. They are being treated fairly. The health and safety standards are being applied. There is a diversity of relationship and the quality of life. Yes, I will share this handout, Rich. And the quality of life is also something which is very important, and you need to make sure that this qualitative lifestyle is being provided by the employer to the employees. So society as a whole, the product safety is something which is a major concern for every part of society. If the product is not safe, if the product is not relevant, then this may also have some impact on the overall societal values, CSR, personal data and privacy, and other factors. Environmental footprints, there are certain environmental footprints as well. The carbon footprints, which means every product that you produce, it will have certain carbon footprints. There will be some spillage of natural resources. CO2 emission, how do you deal with those CO2 emission? How do you present that CO2 emission into the environment? What sustainable factors do you consider? How do you use those resources that are scarce resources, oil, tree, gas, any other resources that are using? Are they recyclable? What about the pollution? What about the green environment, environmental friendly products or not? The question that is the most important question of the day is the highlight hotel question, question number 2A. Uh, majority of you must have solved it, but there are many students who have still not solved it. So you need to solve it. Pestle, whenever you are writing the pestle, now what are the factors that I need to write in the, because majority of times students keep on asking me, sir, what to write in political? I'm confused and between the political and legal factors. I'm confused in between the technological and economical factor. So these are the factors that you need to write. If you're writing the answer with the pestle analysis, that is country-wise or macro environment analysis, in political, you can write the government policies, government subsidies, government approvals, license, taxes, political stability, instability, all other factors. In the technological part, you can write about the plant and machinery, uh, the skilled workers, the IT resources that the company have, or if the scenario have identified any internet or online services that they're providing, road infrastructure. In ecological factor, you'll be writing about the CO2 emission, carbon footprint, recycling, pollution. In economical factors, you'll be writing about economy, growth, downturn, and recession. In social factors, we'll be writing about prosperous developed nation, standard of living. What is the standard of living given in the scenario? Normally, there are the scenario provides you with two differing countries. We are right now situated in one country and we are trying to move to another country, and the scenario wants you to identify if we should move over there or not, and you are applying the pestle model. So in social factors, you'll be writing about the standard of living of that country, how much educated population do we have in that specific country, is it a prosperous or well-developed nation or an underdeveloped or developing nation, and level of unemployment. Legal factors, laws, regulation, legislation, and patent trademark. Then we move towards the next model. Again, this is a small pointer-based handout, and I guess it's just for your quick revision. While you're going into your examination, just get this handout, quickly revise it, and if you apply it relevantly, trust me, you'll be able to solve the examination well. Bargaining, Porter 5 force model. Sorry. Bargaining power of customers. There are certain words that you look for if you are applying Porter 5 force model. Look for the words such as customers and consumers. You need to decide when you are when you are applying the Porter 5 force model, you need to decide if there are 5 different forces, right? You must be aware. Customers bargaining power, suppliers bargaining power, threat of new entrant, threat of competitors, and threat of substitute. So is it high or low? If the size of the customer is big, the bargaining power must be high. If the size of the customer is low, the bargaining power must be low. If you are providing a unique product, your bargaining power will be higher. Same goes to the suppliers, vendors, and manufacturers. So this is how you're going to write your answer. Is there any switching cost? If yes, there is a switching cost, then the bargaining power of the customer is low. If there is no switching cost, then the bargaining power of the customer is high. Threat of new entrant, is it something where the barriers to entry or exit are placed, or there are certain barriers to entry and exit? Yes, bargaining power, threat of new entry is low. And if there are no barriers, if there is no patent involved, if there is no government approval acquired, if there are no government licensing fees required, this means that the threat of new entrant is on the lower side. Threat of competition, again, if there is a competitive rivalry, the number of competitors are high, we are bigger market share, we have bigger market share, then this means, if we have bigger market share, this means that our bargaining power is on the higher side, right? So this is how you're going to attempt the Porter 5 force model. Then we have threat of substitute product. Look for the words such as alternative, or let's suppose if they say that there's an alternative product being made available, there are alternatives that are being given to you. The company product have many alternatives. We are selling petrol, but people are more towards buying CNG. So these are the alternatives that are being given. So you need to answer in accordance with the alternatives that are already being given to you. Now, if the question says to have a strategic position analysis, include 3 things in your answer. If it says about external factors, make sure that you either go for the pestle model or you go for the Porter 5 force model. No, sir, we need to identify the internal factors. Go for human resources, financial resources, IT, and brand. Do you get this? If the question is of external factors, you can write about the pestle model, or you can write. So again, pestle model is macro environment, and Porter 5 force is industry. All other factors are internal. All other factors are internal. Then we have integrated reporting or six capital. Now, what is integrated reporting in six capital? Basically, there are six different capital that relates to the voluntary requirement of the organization. Difference between financial statement and integrated statement: it focus on financial information, it focus on historic performance, it focus on share capital. There's very less emphasis on social and environmental factors, strategies and decision making, short term and annual results. Integrated reporting is all about the business performance. It's all about the future strategy. It relates to six capital, the manufactured capital, the intellectual capital, all of the six capitals. So there are six different capitals that are given into this integrated report. Integrates social and environmental aspects, and it talks about the long-term value creation. What is the role and definition of integrated reporting? Although they might not ask you about specific definitions relating to specific areas, but I'm just trying to identify what integrated reporting is. And integrated reporting is a concise communication demonstrating a link between governance, strategy, and financial performance, and social and environmental context, and shows how organization creates value in the short, medium, and long term. So integrated reporting tells us about how the organization mission, strategy, financial performance relates to social and environmental context. There are different contexts of integrated reporting. Normally, people consider that only six capital is the context of integrated reporting, but this is not the factor. This is not the case. Integrated reporting will relate to the organization overview. It can you can tell about the organization using PESTEL or Porter 5 Force model. You can use the SORT model. You can use there are different further strategies. The six capital, which relates to integrated reporting, which means the manufactured capital, the intellectual capital, financial capital, social capital, and environmental capital. So there are different capitals that relate. So six capital is not only factor in the integrated reporting. There are many other factors that you can report. And if you report well, you will have different contents, or you will have different contents of integrated reporting. Okay, so six capital. What are the six capitals of integrated reporting? Let me just quickly go through this. We have financial capital, overall financial performance and position of the company, sources of funds for the future strategy. So this is something which is very obvious, and it's a mandatory requirement to report on the financial capital. Then we have manufactured capital. Now, what do you mean by manufactured capital? By manufactured capital, I mean tangible asset that is non-current, such as plant and machinery, current assets such as inventory. These are the manufactured capital. Then we have intellectual capital. We have research and development department and innovation. We have brand, we have patent, we have technical skills. So whenever the company states about R&D, the company states about brand, the company states about patent, you need to write it in the heading of intellectual capital. Human capital, employee matters, knowledge, skills, experience, and of the employee. If they talk about the human capital, if they talk about the knowledge, they talk about the skills, experience, staff turnover, productivity, you have to relate it to human capital. When they say about social capital, there should be a relationship. The scenario must be stating something about the relationship of the key stakeholder with the company, which include customers, suppliers, community, and government. Then we have natural capital, which mean environmental matters, carbon footprint, CO2 emission, recycling, disposal of wastage, pollution, spillage, and use of scarce resources. How we are going to use all these capital is another format of writing the answer in regard with natural capital. Then what are the advantages of integrated reporting? Integrated reporting is a voluntary disclosure. It enhances the company's image. You all must have gone through the advantages. I'm just quickly going through it. It is going to decrease the cost of capital. You will have effective communication with the stakeholders. You can focus on capital other than the financial ones. It will integrate the social and environmental factors with decision making. You will demonstrate organization that creates value. There will be better decision making among stakeholders and shareholders with the potential investors of the company. This will also let's suppose attract more investment as low cost of capital will be asked because we are doing something extra that other organizations are not doing, and it will give us some competitive advantage as well. But disadvantages is that too much information is being given. We are also telling about the intellectual capital. We are also telling about manufactured capital. Previously, historically, we used to tell the companies about the financial capital only, but now we are telling about intellectual. Now we are telling about the financial. Now we are telling about manufactured. Now we're telling about each and every form of capital. Valuation of fixed capital is subjective matter. You can value financial assets, but you can't value human resources. How will you value the human resources? How are you going to integrate the human resources? This is one of the biggest questions that comes into each and every person's mind. So it's a very subjective part. We have examination question number 2. We have examination question number 3. Right? Professional skills analysis. Thoroughly review given information and investigate reasons for the current state. Hint is to explain and comment in detail on particular set of information, data, and question appropriateness of any assumptions used. Evaluation. Assess proposal or argument in balanced way in given pros and cons so that it can be used in a decision making. So evaluation is pros and cons. Communication expressed clearly and convincingly, keeping in mind the target of the audience, whom you are communicating to and who you are. I am the CFO, I'm communicating to shareholder. I need to talk about the financial part. I'm the CEO, I'm talking to the employee. I need to talk in regard with leadership. So this is what communication skill is. Commercial acumen, understanding of overall business and external factors to be able to give commercially sound comments and recommendations. So now you're going to give some sound comments. Now you're going to give some recommendation, and these recommendations will be used with the perspective of competitors, threats, markets, opportunities, any other factor. Skepticism. Ask challenging questions to ask for challenge to someone's views and opinion. There must be some opinions given in the scenario, and the examiner would want you to use skepticism skills to use questions like I disagree. Is it correct or is it incorrect? Is it not clear? The financial situation of the company is not suitable. It is not depicting the given trademark of the company, or the risk level is not at the ALARP level, which means the as low as acceptable level. Let's suppose I disagree with the views presented to the stakeholders. I disagree with the views that are being presented to the stakeholders by the finance directors of the company. There are many, let's suppose the objective of the company is not clear. The information that is being given, it needs some further investigation. I disagree with the views that have been presented. So these are the factors that you need to relate when you're talking about the skepticism skill. Now, tell me one thing. Are you in a position to apply the model that I have right now presented in front of you onto a new question? Are you all willing to do this exercise? Okay. Now I'm sharing a new question with you all. Just a minute. I'm sharing a new question with you all. You can also have access to this question on your Google account. Meanwhile, if you want to ask any question, you can please ask. If there are any questions that you would want to ask, you can unmute yourself till the time I'm sharing a question with you.
Sir, I just wanted to clarify the previous question I asked about the depth of explanation required. So, for example, when I apply Porter's 5 forces, and I'm talking about threat of new entrants, so is it enough that I identify from the case the developments happening in the market? For example, there's innovation, there's more R&D done by other companies which produce alternatives to our products. And then I just refer to that and say, okay, this is happening. And because of this, the company is facing a high threat of their substitutes. Will that be enough, or should I also go on to say the implications that it has?
No, if you are saying that the company will be facing high competition, or maybe the company is going to face a fierce competition from the competitors or the overall market, then you need to explain why have you stated this point. Because, just stating the point and moving forward and assuming that, okay, the examiner is quite mature enough to get a logical reason why I stated this point, then examiner is going to award marks to himself, but not to you. You need to have a very clear strategy with those reasons. Is any other question? If you want, you can open your mic and you can ask me. Anyone else? Okay, so can someone please open the past paper on ACCA platform? And can someone please confirm, because it's not opening in my mobile phone and I don't have a laptop free right now. Can you please search the last past paper that has been given to you by the ACCA practice platform? Can someone please confirm? Okay, September. Okay, QH question. QH company. Okay, now what you need to do, quality homes, right? Okay, so we have QH question. Let me see if I can have this question available in PDF.
Sure, the workshop is till 10.
Yes, it will be till 10.
All right.
But now it's your task. I'm done with my. Yes, Aisha, please ask. Yes, Aisha. I guess you're not audible to me. Okay, in fact, leave that QH question. I have another question for you all. And it's one of the most challenging one as well, because it have different forms of exhibits that you might require. Now, what you need to do is, I'm sharing this question on your screen, and I'm sharing this question with you all as well. Or you want, if you want, you can just write the question name. You will get this question. Now, what you need to do is, I'm allocating 1 hour is 8:55. Right? Is reading, watch paper, and follow the strategy that I am in front of you on your screens for next 60 minutes. Okay, am I audible now? Am I audible now? My voice clear? Just a minute. Is it clear now? Okay. Now look at this. It's a very wonderful exercise, and you will be in a very confident position after doing this exercise while attempting your SBL examination. Now, we have a question of September, December 2019, and this question is of a Duels company. You need to read this entire question. That is, you need to go through the RPR strategy. Now, while going through the RPR strategy, you need to apply this model that I've specifically identified for you all. For next 1 hour, that is 60 minutes, you need to do this. Now, my voice will be completely quiet after I allocate this time period to you. And I'll not be available. Just my screen will be shown in front of you. Just go through this paper, apply this RPR on it, and at the end, at 10 a.m., at 10 p.m., I'll be reverting or resuming my class. I'll be resuming my class, and we'll be I'll be resuming my class, and we'll be discussing about if we were relevantly able to apply this RPR or not. Is it clear? Yes, I'm sharing this on all groups as well. I'm sharing this paper on all groups as well. Again, you can write down the name of this paper. If you want, you can Google it. This paper will be available to you all. You have to apply this. You have to apply this on the given paper that I'm showing, right? Is it clear? Am I totally clear to every one of you? Because after I allocate the reading time, I'll not be available. I need to have an injection. So I'll be going for some medication. So I'll be resuming back at 10, and then I'll be asking you if you have done this or not. Please let me know. If you still have any doubts, you can ask me. Yes, only reading. Only reading. That is RPR. Is it clear? So in my watch, it's exactly 9 o'clock. You have 1 hour. After me allocating this time, you won't be listening to my voice, and I'll be resuming at 10 o'clock. Please start.